Peace. Welcome to LightBulb Lessons.
Again, I'll always say it could be the most zillionth episode. I'm gonna always say it, man. It is such a blessing, such a pleasure that I've been blessed to be in the presence of so many great leaders. So many great leaders. And again, I'm always organic in my approach in terms of the specific individuals that I look at and I say, man, wow, like these individuals, in my opinion, they're my Michael Jordans, they're my Kobe Bryants, they're my Kareem Abduls, and my Tom Brady's, and this gentleman that I have with me here today, man, is a very special individual to me. This individual has always been a person that I look up to, a person that I inspire to try to emulate, a person that laid a groundwork that, as I was explaining to him earlier, it's world renowned to me. That's probably the best way that I can put it. This gentleman goes by the name of Mr. Jorge Aspiazu. He's a fellow Marine brother of mine. A fellow E9, for those out there that don't know what that is. That is the most senior enlisted rank in the United States Marine Corps. So phenomenal individual, great gentleman that is a family man, always putting his heart out there on the line, man, to ensure that he's spreading that love and that infectious vibe around whoever is in his presence. So with that being said, I'll hush my mouth and present to you today, Mr. Jorge Aspiazu. How you doing, brother? How's things going?
Things are going great, Clay. I appreciate the introduction. I tell you, man, to hear that, I think I'm listening to more of the Hall of Famer than anything like I am. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. The message that you sent out there, I've seen most of the podcasts that you've done. And, I tell you, it's a great thing to see our brothers doing these kind of things to kind of not only introduce, but also to kind of let people know that we're all human and those human aspects of leadership and how we put ourselves sometimes in those positions is a very unique art that a lot of people don't understand. And I do appreciate you inviting me on the show and then the kind words. I never see myself in that fashion, but I'm just a humble kind of guy. I just did what the Lord and the Marine Corps told me to do. So
that's right.
Here we are.
That's right. Yeah, man. And you said something key, brother, that I just can't overlook, man. And that's being humble. That humbleness in you. I remember walking into the admin shop at Officer Candidate School up in Quantico, Virginia, and seeing you in there running things. It's busy up in there. A lot of different individuals coming and going, and I just remember you pulled me over to the desk and, hey, Clay, I know who you are. You're India Company 3rd Battalion, Parris Island, South Carolina. Hey, little brother, hey, you in good hands, man. I think back and I feel great every time I think of that, because it's just like, man, along the step of the way, especially for you young service members out there, when you're going to that place of the unknown and you step in and you have someone there that embraces you, brings you in, gives you that comfort. It's a humbling experience, bro. So I really appreciate you for that, man. So
appreciate it. Yeah, I tell you, OCS was one of those places, man, that I tell you, I was blessed. I said it on my retirement that I am a very blessed person, that I think I might have had, if 2 to 3 bad interactions in my life where it comes to leadership wise, I've been blessed to be around the best.
Yes.
And I know at OCS, when I was a drill master, I remember Sergeant Major Barrett just watching
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
interacting with people like that taught me something new
Yeah,
to add
man.
to my toolbox. Like, that's my brother, and I need to let everybody know that that is my brother, and
Right.
everybody needs to understand. There's unique, there's different styles of everybody around that are not
Mhm.
used to that era that we grew up in.
Yeah, man.
It's a little bit different. Like, our communication in our time was this face to face, hand to hand, hug to hug,
Yeah, man.
and genuinely knowing who we are to each other. And then we
Mhm.
move on to the more social media, more advanced kind of way of communicating, and that kind of goes away a little bit because can you imagine if this existed when we had to do like moves, PCS moves, and our PCS mentor would be able to do this, it probably would have been a little better. But instead,
Right.
I had to go meet you, I had to go grab you, I had to take you, I had to do all these kind of things to get to know you. So, that's something that, Sergeant Major Barrett used to always say that everything is a life, no matter
Yeah,
what.
man.
Even that piece of paper, even that award, because you would go in his office and his desk was always empty. And I would
Right.
ask, that desk got so much crap on it. He goes, you know why? Because everything that touches my desk is a life. And
Mm.
I will always treat everything like it's a life. When you come in my door, I'm going to greet you. And if you know Sergeant Major Barrett, Mike Barrett, he is like that. He will never just say hi. He will greet you. And
Yes.
obviously, if he knows you, he's going to greet you like he knows you.
Right.
You've known him for 64 years. Like, that's just the kind of guy he is. But
Yeah, man.
that just added to already how we already were, how we were kind of raised. So
Right.
appreciate that. And man, I tell you, man, it's when you mention OCS, man, I tell you, when Ross and I were just talking in California about it, every time we talk about it, we always heard that OCS was going to be, oh, that's a little vacation. And
Nah.
man, I wish, I wish I would have not listened to those people, because I was
Right.
trying to go. So my goal was always, I always wanted to be a drone sergeant at the Naval Academy because I had this passion
Okay.
about the Naval Academy. I love my leaders that I've had. I want to say about maybe a little bit towards 60% have been a Naval Academy graduate, a couple of Citadel VMI guys, but
Yeah.
the Naval Academy, man, I was like, man, how do they make these people, like these
Mm.
ladies and these males? They're just outstanding leaders. I want to know how to make that.
That's right.
um, I always wanted to go. So I put it, when the sergeant major asked me, hey, I want you to be my candidate for this battalion to put in a package to go to the officer commissioning programs that they have out there. And I was like, sure. And OCS was not my number one pick because I
Right.
was like, I want to go to the Naval Academy. So Naval Academy was taken, and then you put a whole list of other places like 10 schools, and
Yeah, man.
you know, and a funny story is like I put in the university. How do you say it? Miami University, or the university, which is the one that's in the cold place.
University of Miami of Ohio.
That one.
Yes.
So I did not. I did not.
Francini.
Yeah.
Francini went there. Francini was out there.
So I didn't pay attention. I didn't.
Yeah.
I just saw Miami. Boom, Miami. Now I saw the other Miami. Boom, Miami. Um, I get a call from, and I forgot. I get a call, and the monitor was like, "Hey, brother," he goes, I've known you for a couple of years, man, and I know you don't like the cold too much. So what's up with you wanting to go to Ohio, right? And I was like, Ohio? I never said I want to go to Ohio. I want to go to Miami. He goes, no, you're as of right now, you got selected to go to Ohio. I was like, hell no.
Wow. Oh
Take me off,
man.
I'll die. I will die.
Oh
Because
man,
I got the
dude.
next best thing. You're going to OCS. I was like, sure, why not? Screw it.
I'll
I used
take
to,
it.
when I was with the presidential squadron, I used to see them doing their thing, and it was like in the third hat again. I was like, ah. I
Yeah.
used to see them only work once every 3 months, I guess, or
Right,
whatever it is. I
right,
don't know.
right.
It used to be like in small things. But of course, when we get there, obviously the whole world goes to boom.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. We're building the largest amount of graduating candidates that the country has ever seen ever.
Right, right.
So it was quite an honor. It was definitely took everything I had, everything from the training cycles to being the battalion drill master slash, battalion ops chief for a little while until Master Sergeant Knox got down there.
Yep.
Mehdi was in, I think he was in transition from Afghanistan back. I'm pretty sure it was something like that. Him and Mehdi and the Sergeant Major Barrett were very close. So
yeah, man. Shout out to Mehdi Knox. Yeah,
Mehdi definitely
came
in and he's like, I know you're not the ops chief. I know you're the drill master, but I'm gonna show you what it takes to be an ops chief. I was like, sure, let's do it.
Right.
So it was huge influence to see things operationally, because for most of the people that don't know, I'm a logistician. I'm at 672 aviation. I was, and I spent my whole career pretty much doing that, along with things to prepare myself, because my goal was to be a sergeant major one day. The Marine Corps, so something different, and which is
right.
Live with that. Well, maybe we could talk about that a little later. I don't know if we have enough time, but things didn't pan out the way it was supposed to be, and that's fine. But growing up and seeing that and getting to OCS, and like I got my son. Like I have a son right now, 2 boys and a girl.
Okay.
Daughter's 26 and she's living in Louisiana. My other one's living in New Jersey, who's trying to be an MMA fighter, and also trying to find his rhythm, right?
Okay.
My other son is a Marine. He's a Lance Corporal at 3rd Radio Battalion, Hawaii.
Raw.
Yeah. He's an administrator, but he's got this vision. He's got this thing. I told him, man, keep that vision. Keep that alive, because it's coming. It's gonna come your way. Don't let anybody hold you back.
That's right.
Forward, and don't think about right now. Always be taking 3 steps forward. Three steps forward, and he knows the little acronyms like you got HB this. You got to understand that. You got to be prepared, because his goal. He wants to be a 3rd Battalion drill sergeant. That's what he wants to be.
That's it.
All the things that I try to teach his kid not to do, he wants to be a 3rd Battalion drill sergeant. So
it's in his blood, Zoo.
So that's the thing. It is in his blood. He was born in Parris Island. So my son, my oldest son, we call him the initial drill baby, because literally he was born a few days before initial drill, where I was supposed to be taken out, and my wife's like, no, you're gonna do initial drill. Like, very well. And my son was born. He's a little guy, Charlie's, and then back then, young Stash on Black was a regimental drill master. We have a video. One day I'm gonna find my CD case.
Yeah.
Like he's walking down the aisle, and my wife's just sitting there with my son and his Charlie, and Sergeant Black looks at Stash on Black, looks at him, and goes, huh. And he just marches forward.
Wow. That's classic.
Literally, when I tell you that my boys are both Parris Island born babies, he is an initial drill. My other son is a final drill baby. Okay. So when I tell you he was born, I believe it was Wednesday, the week before. Remember, final drills be on Mondays.
Right.
And they were like, spend time with her. I was like, well, I literally went for final drill practice straight there, and he was born. We did our thing, and she said, hey, what's final drill? I said, Monday. All right. All right.
Wow.
You better win it. That's all I'm telling you. So I was like, why wouldn't I win it? Right.
That's right.
But went out there, kicked it, did it, and it was both my boys, man. They're literally my little one, man. He always says I have to represent. I'm not only the son to Marine parents, but I have Parris Island blood in me, so I have.
Oh man,
so
that is so powerful, dog. Like, man, I'm grinning over here ear to ear. I see you grinning. It's like, dog,
those kids, man. I tell you, those boys, man. They kept me alive, and they still do to this day. I mean, obviously your kids will always be there for you. But
man.
My boy, I try to. I don't. I let him do his thing, just like all my relatives that I've ever had in the Marine Corps. I stay out. You come ask me a question, I'll answer it, but I don't get it like involved like with that. But I know that he has his friends, his chain of command, like they know who I am. They know where.
That's what I was about to say. Like, hey,
Yeah.
your name is still golden. You know what I'm saying?
I would just say that.
You know, he's got to live up to that legacy too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Which is good because you know
Yes.
that gives him that edge. To, hey man, I gotta outdo my dad. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's exactly it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I tell him. Don't try to be anything like me. I want you to be better than me. I want you to be better than me. I don't want you to wait until you're like 40 something to get your first bachelor's. I want you to get your bachelor's now. I want you to get your master's, you know, hopefully before you get a Marie Curie, not when you're 49 years old and
That's right.
you're using it to prepare for something. Now you can add to that.
Yes.
And
get that doctorate. Yeah. You go
by
with
the
that
time you're
doctorate.
like, you know, 30, 40, and you'll be working on maybe you already graduated, get your doctorate or whatever.
Right.
Like, not like me at 51, I'm going to be working on my doctorate. It's like, you know, it's something that I want them to strive, all three of them. I always want them to strive for the best and for them. And kind of like you and I talked about, it has to be for you.
Right.
Nothing that we do can be for anything else. It has to be for you.
That's
and
right.
No matter what you believe in, I mean, if you in whatever it is that you believe in, it doesn't matter as long as everything is for you, and everything will be supported by a higher power.
That's it, man.
I know the audience. I don't want to talk about specific religions, but what higher power you believe in and yourself is what's going to guide you through that. So that's kind of like what I tell my son is, you know, push forward and don't stop, because you're going to run into those guys that me and you ran into. Like, don't do that. You know, do this. This is more fun. Or, you know, stop being so hoorah and stop being this, stop being that. It's like, okay, that's the guy that when you get promoted meritoriously, he's gonna be like, man, I can't believe you did it.
That's it.
Man, you're awesome. That's how you defeat those times that are so worth, you know, the sacrifice, that you might miss a party or two, miss the popularity contest once or twice. But at the end of the day, you're gonna be probably that next Sergeant Major Marine Corps, Master Gunner Sergeant, you know, operationally, whatever the case may be, you know, up there, an outfield specialist, you know, for your MOS, whatever that, you know, anything, or maybe the next, you know, future DC. You never. There's just so much that you can do. The Marine Corps has those opportunities for our young Marines, man. It's just they just got to go after it, you know.
That's it.
Get out of this mindset, you know, get out of this socialist mindset that right now is out there. Like, you know, that you're only able to do one thing, and there's tons of things you can do. You can be multi-talented. You know, look, you're a perfect example. Look at what you're doing right now. There's 7 other things that you could be doing too at the same time. I guarantee it. And that mindset comes with what we're instilled in, what's in our blood, what we identify ourselves with. So it's truly something that I'm very grateful for that. So
what's your thoughts on talent management? Ooh, what's your thoughts on that, man? For the young Marines out there, other branches of service, whatnot. What's your thoughts on that talent management, man?
So talent management for me, man, is very unique. I will tell you that. So let me first just throw this out there, that there is a lot of things like we talked about earlier that people do not see when it comes to the investment that the Marine Corps and the branches of services are doing with talent management. It may not be what we want to see right now. I got it.
Right.
But it's happening. And when I tell you, and because I have to be very cautious, when I tell you that things are happening. But just like any investment, right? Investment takes time.
That's right.
To buy that share, but that share is going to take time to grow.
To build. That's right.
Exactly. And that's what that is. My opinion with talent management is that is a unique resource that, if it's utilized correctly, will help us. And I'm going to say this across the board, will help the DoD retain the best.
Right.
And it does that in a unique fashion where we're not focusing in on movements, kind of like, you know, the ACMAC talked about it, you know, that at AFCEA 23 West just a few days ago. And I can say this because it's on the record. he said, we are focusing on retaining the best.
Right.
And I'm gonna say, because on the record, it's public knowledge, so we don't focus. And talent management has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with money, believe it or not. If I have to pay you, Clay, $5,000 to put me on TV, and that's not talent management. That's you doing a job for me.
Right.
Talent management means that you're going to do it because of your base, of your knowledge, of your record, of who you are, that you're going to ask me questions, and I'm going to answer it alone, resourcefully, just me and you for an audience. You don't need to pay me to do that. You and me being Marines is good enough. That's my NDA. Right. And I know you will not break that trust. I know that you will not do this, and that.
Okay.
So, talent management for me is retaining the best to be, in our case, because all I know is Marine Corps, is to be a Marine.
That's it.
Now, do we have certain MOSs that we may have to utilize financial endeavors to keep you in? Yes. I will not take that away. There probably are. There's probably one or two that out there that we may have to pay. Hey, Jorge Aspiazu, here's $5,000. Stick around for another 2 years, right? But with that comes benefits. With the and make no mistake about it. This is the thing that people don't understand. With that money comes sacrifices. Comes, potentially. And I know some of us like to move, and some of us don't like to move. Here's $5,000, and I'm using $5,000 because it's just the quickest number that I can think of. But it's going to come with, okay, but I'm going to move you. I'm going to move your family, right? Or I'm going to keep you. I'm going to keep you here. Well, remember, everything is not what you think it is. Some people think that they want a homestead forever. Some people don't. Some people don't want a homestead. Some people want to see. I joined the Marine Corps because I wanted to travel. I wanted to see different things. I didn't want to stay in one place for the rest of my life. That's me, right? That's me, Aspiazu. I can't speak on behalf of 1 point or what is it, whatever our population is. I can't speak for that. I can speak for me that I wanted to move around. I didn't want to stay in one place. Did I ever have any desires to be on the West Coast? Not so much, right? Not so much. But I did. I went to Yuma, right? I was in Yuma for a little bit. It was kind of like the West Coast.
Right.
I never really was a fan of it because, for me, I just enjoyed my life the way it was. Logistically, it was on the East Coast for me, along the East Coast, overseas, Japan, deployments, all that good stuff that comes with the job. So I can only say for talent management is that it comes with sacrifices. And to retain the best comes sacrifices. It comes with the resources that we have already in place. But it takes time. It's an investment, right? It's not. And I was very privy to see some stuff, read some literature on where we are going in the future. And I can tell you this much, Clay, that the Commandant's vision has already begun. Talent management has already started. It may not be the way we want it to be right now, but as we invest and the investment starts to grow, you're going to start seeing those changes. And it's already started. Before I left, which was in 22, I can say that it has already started.
Good.
Talent management to me is that we have to be able to not only, first of all, we have to listen to the monitors. The monitors are the ones that have everything, right?
Okay.
Although sometimes the decisions, unfortunately, data is what kind of sets the tone. Right?
Yes.
It sets the tone. But you have to be able to articulate your case individually, right? Sometimes we have to be able to listen. My son, he's got a little treat. He's got right now, we're not sure what it is. There's treatment, blah, 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 and all this stuff. I have to be able to, as a volunteered service member, we also got to remember, we volunteered for this stuff.
That's right.
No one's making us stay here. Every 4 years, you volunteer to stick around.
That's it, dog.
Some folks may not like my view, but it is what it is.
It's the truth.
It's 4 years you volunteered, and you have to make these sacrifices. My son's got something going on, and I can articulate that because I have to. You have, even in industry, even out here, I can't just tell my boss, hey boss, hey listen man, I know I'm the vice president, but I feel like leaving for 3 weeks, man. And, I'm not gonna My voicemails, I'm not gonna pay attention. I'm just gonna leave. It's not like that. If I tell him, listen, boss, having surgery, repairing my shoulder, I'm getting it all replaced, X, Y, and Z. We talk about the medical stuff, but I'm going to depart for a couple of weeks to get this fixed. But there's also several other things happening in the next couple of months. I have to have a plan. Now, I have my COO. She's going to take my place, X, Y, and Z. She has all my notes. We have talked. We okay, good to go. Solid plan. Let's go with it. Hey, monitor, I got this going on. I foresee this happening in about 6 months. Can we push things off for 6 months? Can we? That's when you start talking to talent, to me as talent, and then me as the one providing the information. I'm like, you know what? Why wouldn't I invest in this organization? It took care of me. It took care of me in ways that probably it wouldn't have done before. It would tell me, well, so what? Everybody's kids got problems. Well, my kid's having a surgery that could become probably deadly. I don't know. It's probably a bad example. But my point is, talent management is this: having the ability to articulate and conversate and maybe provide a case, but also provide a solution. You can't say, I'm not doing it, and not provide a solution, because now you're giving somebody else the power to give them your solution. Why don't you provide them? Talent management is seeing where we most need our capabilities at. If we need more IT guys, if we need more logisticians, that's talent management. Is seeing, okay, how do I retain these guys? What is it that I need in my institution that I have access to retain the best of these logisticians? Right. That's how we kind of look at it. We kind of look at it in that spectrum where we have to be able to sit down. We have to be able to assess, which we are doing, right? Can we do it better? Probably. There's other methodologies out there that allow us to make those methodological decisions. And they're out there. It's just a matter of reaching out and grabbing it, Right. It'll only get better. I won't say the individuals, but I spoke to a couple of these senior individuals in the Marine Corps, and I mentioned that there's things out here, there's programs out here that I would love that for you all to see that I think would do wonders. I think measuring talent, I think measuring to see how successful we are, and it's probably happening. I mean, I could be talking about, and maybe it started yesterday, I don't know. Right. But demonstrating that and providing that. Not just talking about it. Talent management is definitely something that I know for a fact that it is hard cases for the Commandant and the Sergeant Major Marine Corps. They have attacked it since day one, and I can tell you that it is an investment that they just keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. We may not be seeing it because there's a lot of other things that come into play. That's right. The thing that some of us don't understand is that it goes from that office to the other office to Congress to the Hill. And remember, there's laws, there's policy, there's thousands of other things that are happening as well. We have to try to manage that. And I'll get off this soapbox play because I'm gonna tell you right now.
No, this is great, man.
Haters on this one.
This is great.
But I will tell you this: it all starts when I was wearing that. That's where it starts. What do you mean? Break that down. We are the talent management experts. Okay. We fail when we say, bad example, when we know that Corporal Aspiazu is not the guy. It's not the guy that I recommend for re-enlistment. I think he should be the guy that'll do great things out of the civilian world, because in this gun club, he is not providing what we need. He doesn't go to school. He doesn't do his job very well. He's a 4.1 or 4.0, whatever you want. I don't remember those things. Or now with JPAS, his scores are low. Why am I going to recommend this Marine for re-enlistment? Right. Because I know that he may not be all there or doesn't have his ducks in a row, maybe another enlistment. Well, that's another 4 years. We're investing in this guy. Now it's 8 years and he hasn't done anything. And now he's 8 years and he's a sergeant, passed twice. So this is where I think the leadership, because we are the commanders, what's it called? What's the guy that the one that does the the re-enlistment paperwork. I forgot the title.
Career planner.
Career planner.
Yes.
We are the commander's career planners. That guy or
Right.
gal is not. They are by title, but they have 150 other things to look at.
Oh yeah, man. It's just one.
It's just us. We're the
Yeah.
guys. We're the guys and gals that are doing this. We're the ones that are now. Do things need to change with that process? I think probably so. I think I'm gonna charter on little waters here, but I just think that there should be another level of expectation as a commander's career planner. I'll leave it at that. I think it should be taken very seriously. It's not a fact billet. It's not a billet that you can train someone after 3 months or 3 weeks to do.
Mm-hmm.
It requires someone with experience in talent management, i.e. us, i.e.
Right.
senior leaders. I won't, I'm not going to get into ranks. I'm just going to say someone that understands what is the requirement of the Marine Corps. Do they meet the specific requirements for enlistment? Yes. However, when Sergeant Major Clay is saying to Master Gunner Jorge Aspiazu, who is the commander's career planner, and you're telling me as a Sergeant Major that Corporal Aspiazu sucks, he does not need to re-enlist, but because he's a first-class PFTer, he's a rifle range expert, he has all his MCIs done, he went to the corporal's course because I made him go,
right?
Not because he wanted to go,
right?
I made him go, right? This guy is not the guy, but because he has the specific, he kind of meets the requirements, right? You can't say no, and we have enough quotas. That's where I think we got to kind of be very cautious when it comes to talent management. We have to have the ability to say, you know what, this is not the guy. But as you already know, the commandant has already put it out there. Hey, commanders, here you go. I'm giving you 4 rank. This is the guy. You keep him right now. This is the guy you keep him right now. Not like back in the day where people didn't think it exists. It exists. You have the ability to do that. That's time management. That's how you retain some of the best. But also, we have to be able to screen out. And then just because they meet the minimum requirements, if we go low on the quotas, and this is where we start attacking leadership. Hey, Master Gunner Jorge Aspiazu, in the 672 community, you guys are like way below your numbers. What is going on? I think that's something we need to look at internally. What are we doing that we're not providing? A young sergeant is going to want to stick around if he knows he has opportunities. Like I did when I was coming up. I was hungry, man. I tell you, man. I will say this because I can, because I've told people I thought my crap didn't stink. I thought I was the guy. I was the next sergeant major, just like all of us were, right? And then you get to Paris Island DI school, and then you learn really quick. You learn all that.
No, you ain't all that. You're right.
But it is the very first time going from that atmosphere, right? That lifestyle to Paris Island to DI school and meeting people, in my opinion, and I cannot speak on now, I don't know, but when I was there, that was the top 10% of the Marine Corps. And I can tell you because in my class, I can speak on behalf of my class, there literally was, up until I retired, and some of them are still serving, the top of the top.
That's right.
A lot of them taught me so much that I am not afraid to say it. I was going to go bye-bye. I was like, you know what? Screw this, man. I got this staff sergeant who's just on me. I got this gunnery sergeant who's just on me. Like, I don't need this. I don't need this in my life. I go back to my unit where I'll be number 1 and I'll be happy.
Ooh, man, that's a light bulb lesson right there.
And I tell you, Staff Sergeant Black,
that's a light bulb.
The Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, I love that dude, man. I know people may have their opinions on him and whatever, but Sergeant Major Archie,
old Paul T.
Sir. Those guys, they and many others that were there. I used to call him Papa Bear. I can't remember his name. My memory is just starting to go away little by little. But several of those drill instructors taught me so many lessons, man. So many lessons, man. That and it didn't. The light bulb effect here was mess night. and then Stash on Black. And some of these stories he doesn't remember. And I told him, it's not gonna be any news if he ever sees this. And I told him that, I said, you know, he comes up to me. I was having a drink at the bar, and you know, I'm like, oh God, I can't believe this is over. Thank God, right? And he comes over to me. He goes, so, congratulations. And I was like, well, thank you. And he's like, you know, let me tell you something. You want to know why I was so hard on you? And I was like, I have no idea. Maybe you hated me. Maybe you hated my mom for having me. I'm not sure, you know? And he said, you have all the qualities to be the best drill instructor that this regiment has ever seen. But there was one that you were missing. And I said, and what's that? He goes, humbleness. You don't know what it is to be humble.
Wow.
And I learned it. And I will tell you, Robin Fortner can tell you, Sergeant Major Jamel Cook, retired, can tell you that I was in pain. I hated it. I hated life. But after that moment, that light bulb went off.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, I was like, okay, all right, now I got it. Now it's time to be the best.
Right.
And I put my heart into everything, even though, you know, unfortunately, you know, my first cycle was not, even though I performed, and I performed, in my opinion, as well as I could with a little about, I tell you, retired Sergeant Major Gabriel Macias can tell you, we slept in our first cycle. If we slept a total of 15 hours in a cycle, 3 months, it was a lot. Like we got it was a very, we worked hard. I will say, I won't put any words or anything like that. If you were a former drone soldier, I think you know what the hell I'm talking about. So I would tell you, we worked. And my leadership, you know, it was just like that, man. Third time, man. It was about inflicting hate, discontent with spirit and discipline. And we created the best of the best, because I remember being on the rifle range in September 2001. We're on the rifle range, and that's where the world changed. And that light bulb now goes off again.
Yeah, man.
We're not thinking about protecting our country. Now we're thinking about defending our nation.
Yes.
And these guys and gals on the line, they're the ones that are going to do it. And now we have to put everything we have into that. We had a purpose, right? Everything we did came with a purpose. We had to do it with passion, and we had to do it with pride. We had to go in there and teach these Marines, these future Marines, how to be Marines, not just in combat, but when they take that uniform off and now they have to put on the pretty stuff and look good, they have to understand it. And I think, you know, I think our generation, you know, again, not taking away from my son's a Marine, his drill instructor does a great job, you know, but I think it came with a different passion. I don't really know how to say it, because there's young drill instructors I've spoke to, they're like, oh, come on, man, all of you old cats say that. No. I think you guys are doing great. I think I personally tell the drill instructors now, I couldn't be a drill instructor right now. I would last 6 days.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
I would last 6 days. But not because I put my hands on recruits. It's not that, because I could tell you, I honestly, you know, made a mistake once or twice, but I will tell you that you have to put everything you got into it. Everything, every single bit. And when I say that, when you were a drill instructor, you sacrificed everything. You sacrificed everything. Like, my boys were babies. My old lady took care of them. If I had 3 seconds somewhere in the schedule to go right across the street to the daycare, just see my kids run around in the yard, that's good. That was good for me. That was good for me. That was good for the family, right? But it hurt. But it comes with sacrifice, because you want to build, you want to do what you said you were going to do. I swear that I'm going to make you the best of the best. And we did that, right? And it took, you know, obviously stages, you know, and in your third hat, you know, all you care about is destroying and making sure they pass academics, because then that's your ass. But when you're heavy, things change. And then when you're a senior, now that investment becomes a little bit more personal.
Right.
I wanted to make sure that my recruits, and I used to haze my half, they hated it. But towards the end, everybody go home, I'm staying with them the last 5 days. And I learned that through the MNRA Sergeant Major Rodriguez, you know, Rafael, he used to do that to us, and he used to haze me, and I hated it because I'm like, boss, let me, you can go home. He goes, no, you go home. I'm staying.
Right.
I'm gonna be there, platoon sergeant. I'm gonna teach them, and I learned it from. I stayed one night and I watched what he did, and he brought in all his uniforms and he put it on every single uniform he put it on, the ones that they were going to use, obviously.
That's right.
And showed them how to wear it, and showed them how to slightly. You don't have a dry cleaner, no excuse. He showed them how to do that, and I learned that through him. I learned that passion that you have to have, and that's what created, again, my legacy and what I did as a drill instructor. Am I perfect? By all means, I'm far from it, and I will never say I am. I have my skeletons like everybody else does.
Right.
I will tell you that I did that, and it brought into me when I was a serious gunnery sergeant. I would teach my seniors that. When I was a drill master, I would talk to senior drill instructors about stuff like that. And then it carries on even in the fleet. When I got out there in the fleet, I would tell my young sergeants, inspect what you expect. That saying is not just a phrase.
It's not a phrase.
That's exactly what you got to do. You even in industry, like out here, and the same expectations that I would have as a customer, I would want from the people who are selling it to me. And we have, and that's why it was very cautious for me to be very careful when I transitioned into industry, where I would go. Right? Because it had to share my values. It had to share my work ethic, because I don't like to stop. And I only stop when the mission's done.
That's it.
Right? And right now, that's where it's at. Like, you got to keep going. And it's stressful, but you move on. But just like any other rank, and just like any other position, when I left Paris Island, I demanded, but I also learned. I continued to learn. My good friend, Master Gunner Sergeant Fidel San Miguel, retired. I got back from my deployment. I was selected for Master Sergeant, which, no, anybody watching this, my Master Gunnies, I love what we do. But at that time, young Gunnery Sergeant Aspiazu was not happy. I was not happy because at Paris Island, I went up for two meritorious selections, and I understand the losses. They were let's just say understood. But when I wasn't selected for first sergeant, I was not a happy camper, and I made sure that the world knew that. I was a master sergeant. I get to my first unit as a master sergeant, came in there like Gunny Highway, and let's just say the first thing I saw was NCIS coming in there to investigate because there was something going on. I'm like, oh my God, is this what the frick I'm jumping into here? Oh,
yeah, man,
ridiculous.
Right.
And I did everything, but I did my job. But I didn't do it with that passion.
That empathy.
It was just there. I just did it. And just
Rick Hawkins.
Yeah. So that master sergeant at the time pulls me to the side and he goes, hey, brother, I know who you are. Trust me, I know who you are. I know everything about you on the professional level. And I will tell you that I know you don't want to be here as a master sergeant. But there's one thing that you have done in your life, he said, that you have always shared that I know with your Marines is how to be better.
No doubt.
What are you teaching them right now by you just being here? And that, like, again, light bulb moment. I'm like,
light bulb.
You know what, brother? You're right. Because they used to tease me. They used to call me the first master sergeant. That's what they used to call me.
Is that right?
They used to call me first master sergeant. My peers, though, not the kids, my fellow man, my eights.
Right.
And because that's the way I was, man. I was doing things like a first sergeant, which is I think that's awesome, right? I don't think that's a bad thing, but I wasn't really focusing in on my job as much as I should have. And then that light bulb moment went off, and I had to show my Marines that you could do it all. You can be a great leader and do the leadership things, the rah-rah things, like Blaine calls it, right? You can do the rah-rah things, but you could always, let's take it to the technical side now.
That's right.
And apply it to that, because now you say you're successful at this, then you'll be successful at this.
And that makes you dangerous.
Exactly.
Now you're really dangerous. Yeah. Yes.
It is, because now, most of those kids, they not only were they strong and they had those capabilities to lead, understand, articulate, train, teach, but they also applied it to this, because now they know the importance of attention to detail. They understand that combat mindset. Because mind you, this is 2000 and 9 still, we're still at war.
Yeah, we're still
Still at
there.
war. We're still deploying. We're still
That's
moving.
right.
And
That's
then
right.
these kids, they need to understand that you have to have this to be a master at that. You can't be a master at this and then just sometimes want to do this because this is going to hurt you here.
Right.
If I'm not leading correctly, then my Marines are not going to want to work. They're not going to want to push or even get out there and do whatever it is that you're trying to do out there. And we saw it. We saw it in theater. We saw it in combat. We saw it where we had Marines wanting to go home. They're like, I'm not used to this. I don't want this. I want to go home. And it was bad because leadership, like that is the number one concept of everything, because it all starts with that mindset.
That's right.
Because you got to teach them from the beginning that everything you do matters. Everything you do is for a purpose. I just shot an executive email to my company, letting them know that everything that we do, believe it or not, make no mistake about it, is important to the warfighter and what our company brings to our nation's government. Because the enemy, right, the Chinese, right, they write books. They're giving us the answers.
That's
that
right.
We have to be able to be prepared to understand what their tactical and strategic plan is to make us forget, to make us think of other things, right? But we got to stay focused. We have to stay focused, man. And I tell you, when I tell you that I utilize those tools coming up as a leader to even in industry now, letting them know, hey, just the other day where this balloon thing happened, I'm not lying to you, brother. Light bulb again.
Yeah, man.
I lie to you. Sitting in my bed, watching the news, and I'm reading my book, and no crap, it literally said in there that the PRC, that one of their strategic plans to overcome our nation is doing what they're doing right now. They're making us think of everything else besides them.
That's right.
Every time that we develop things to beat them, they're building things to beat us again. Because now, all right, we got through there, and they may or may not have been the ones. I don't care. That's irrelevant. I'm a warfighter. They did it. I'm not ashamed. I say it. I'm retired. 100%. I'm a civilian. They fucking did that shit.
Let's go.
They did that shit. So here it is. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. And because it's in the book. It's literally written in there what the PRC's plan. What their plan is. What are they trying? They want us to forget about it.
Yeah, bro.
And then when you got our leaders, the commandant, telling us, hey, stay focused, stay in the fight. Man. Make no mistake about it. You know, logistics, and I speak on logistics because that's where I'm at with other methodologies that we have in our center of excellence. But that is the future of where we need to focus in on, because there's a guy, and I'll use you as an example. You in your room, you're spreading the message.
That's right.
Now there's a guy or a girl or a combination of both in some garage developing the next solution for the next fight.
That's right.
Those are the people that we need to start investing in. Those small businesses, because they understand. They're either former veterans who understand, like my company. My company here is 98% veterans because they understand the fight. They understand what's out there. And that's why it's unique. A lot of these companies, they have veterans, but they have veterans working the numbers. They're involved, right? Right. And that's what caused my decision to join this team, is because I had a couple of offers, but I would have been a number. I wanted to make sure that my voice was heard and understood, and whatever I saw, I applied and came with action. And that's what happened. And that's why I joined this company. But not to belay the way this thing went, moving on, applying those fundamentals. And I tell you, I don't expect emails, letters from my Marines for the things that we did together. But I tell you, man, I'm very appreciative when I receive those calls and those emails later on. I have a young first sergeant out there who I am so proud of. I have several Marines that are out there, officers and enlisted Marines that I'm so proud of. And sometimes the messages they send me, like, hey, thank you, what you did. And to me, again, like I started off with, man, I'm a humble person. I don't record any of that. I don't remember. And sometimes when they say that, I'm like, oh my God, I did that. Yeah, and man. They're like, yeah, but you know what? I did everything. You took me out there in the heat and took me out there running and all this stuff. And that helped me, because when I deployed, as a first sergeant, I was like, oh shit. Like, I thought it was just me doing what I'm supposed to do, right?
Just
But
smoking you.
he's telling me like I saved his life, and I'm like, oh crap, I mean, dude. In my mind, I went to my office like, oh my god,
I can't
doing this to
believe.
young guys.
Right.
Oh crap, you know. But that's how I do it, man. That's how leaders they should be, man. They should be like in fall. Like I would go out there, and I remember Cherry Point, Yuma, anywhere I was at, man. Hey, you want to get down? Let's go get down. Let's go.
Bro.
Let's go. You want to go run? You want to grapple? Let's grapple.
No doubt.
IT. I don't give a damn what you want. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Not worry about that.
That's
so
right.
I tell you, man, I enjoyed my 27 plus years in the Marine Corps were a blessing, man. And I tell you, coming up, the amount of senior leaders and staff SEOs and my MOS and out of my MOS that I've met, I am beyond blessed. And as you already know, after you hang up the cloth, things are going to change, right? Right. There's other people with different missions, and they're doing other great things. So to stay in touch with my brothers like Borders and Fortner and you and Blaine and Skanes, I'll hit up Skanes sometimes on Facebook or on the message, whatever. Like all these guys that we served with together, Troy Black, him and I, we still interact, we still talk always. I tell you, man, the day I got that call, man, I was on my way up to California, and another one of my mass sergeants received the Marine Corps Association Aviation Supply Marine of the Year. This is my third one while I was there. And it was a very proud moment for me because he was a retired mass sergeant, Diego Diaz. He retired now. He's down in Texas, I believe.
Okay.
But we're driving up, man. I'm like with grins to grin, we were like, man, again, this is awesome,
Yes.
And then I get the call and Sergeant Black, we're talking, hey, he's dude, what's up? I was like, man, I'm so freaking proud of you, dude. Like it was literally like 15, 20 days after he was selected. I mean, I blew up my social media like, this is my fucking guy. Because I owe, man, I tell you, man, Sergeant Black, Sergeant Rodriguez, several others, man, that are out there, man, at Fortner, Kirkby, these guys, man, they've literally paved my existence to where I got, many others. And I don't want to, and whoever's watching, please, I appreciate everything you ever done for me. Trust me, I say the old man brain and all the stuff that's happening is things are starting to dwindle away a little bit, but I still remember when I look at pictures, yeah. But anyway, not to belay the story, getting up there, he's like, hey man, I'm like, man, I'm so proud of you, man. He goes, yeah, I was like, you're gonna see the world. He goes, yeah, about that. It's like, you want to join me on the ride? And literally, I was like, I looked at the phone like, what? Like, say that one more time.
One more time, yeah.
You want to join me on this ride? And I'm like, holy shit. Well, so I'm gonna lie and say I said hell yeah right away. I didn't. I said I had to talk to my wife first.
That's right.
And then I'll answer you. But
you said yes, but you had to put
yes. I said
disclaimer.
Yes.
You had to put that disclaimer.
I did say yes, but obviously,
disclaimer.
Kids were still in school, so those kind of decisions. But hey, Sergeant of the Marine Corps wants you up there. I'm up there, man. I tell you, I was so blessed.
Yes.
Beyond all blessings to meet and be associated with some of the greatest Marines, senior Marines, junior Marines, senior general officers that I tell you to this day, when I see them, it's like I just saw them yesterday. They still interact. I know that a lot of folks just sometimes don't understand the process of how things work, but that's the reason why I went up there. I had to see it myself. I'm like, because sometimes it's easy to blame, right? It's easy to blame everybody for everything, but until you do it, and it was one of the reasons why I became a drill instructor, because I got tired of saying people were nasty and then, oh, that Marine's disgusting, all this and that. I'm like, you know what? How about stop talking about it and go do something about it?
Go fix it. That's right.
And that's what I did. Same thing. I left the fleet, came out to the fleet. All I heard was how nasty these officers are, how nasty this and how nasty. They don't run, they don't do this, they don't do that. And I'm thinking to myself, man, like, wonder what they're doing. Like, how about let's go fucking figure it out. When I was offered the opportunity, no doubt in my mind.
That's right.
Out of my mind. Let's go figure it out. Now, I didn't know anything about OCS. I just knew what I knew when I was serving with the president, but I didn't know anything about it until I got down there. And literally, when I say, and you know, Blaine, Jason Edwards, Kirk B, Fortner, all of us that were there, we all knew that this shit was different.
That's right.
It was fun. I tell you, man, it is a feeling. Everyone always asks me, okay, so what's the difference? What is the difference between PI and OCS? I said, well, the difference is there's different methodologies, obviously.
Right.
We're training our enlisted corps on the basics and requirements to become a United States Marine. We're training our officer candidates on the basics of becoming an officer of a commissioned officer. We have to make sure they meet the prerequisites before they go to the basic school and become fully pledged commissioned officers. But with this, we gotta learn. We gotta screen them out. We gotta make sure they have heart. They have determination. They have leadership abilities that not necessarily here. Like what I want here is for you to have the fundamentals to go out there and be taught.
That's right.
Learn and understand the fundamentals of marksmanship.
Develop over time.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the difference, you know, and I always kind of say here it's more discipline. Here is more leadership. Like there's discipline. Well, I know in our time there was discipline.
Oh, yes, sir.
It was cool because I feel bad for our era because those guys were trained by, I think, a lot of parasites.
Hey,
like it was like
some of the best officers out there right now. Yes.
Well, some of them that when they see, they're like, "Excuse me." It's not like, "Excuse me, what are you my close friend?" It's like, "Sorry, hey, please don't kill me." I just like, "Oh, hey, you know, it's okay."
Yeah, man.
But, it's all good, man. I tell you, I loved it. I enjoyed it. You know, things change in transition, as you already know. You know, it's been rough. Not gonna lie to you. I have been taking those notes to hopefully provide. I just had a conversation, again, not to divulge any too much information, but I had a conversation with some folks about transition, about things that we could do better. And I recommend any of the senior staff and COs that are out there to not give up on that. If they are already providing those ideas, just reach out. There are resources that you can reach out to, and I got it. I'm not talking about the VA.gov. I'm not talking about your VSOs. I'm talking about no shit. Like, dear Mr. Clay,
yes, sir.
I am a Marine that transitioned 6 years ago, and on these challenges that I think, these are things that I think would probably help and benefit either the Marine Corps or the DOD.
That's right.
Me personally, I'm a DOD guy. I believe, being at the Pentagon and seeing what I saw, that this problem that we have is not a Marine Corps problem. It's service problem. It's DOD wide, bro. And at Sergeant Major Black used to have this measurement. There's never a right number, right? You know, 0 is a caution because something's happening. 1 is bad. Less than 1 is seriously, it doesn't exist, right? Or 1 is bad. So something like that. I just say anything more than 0 is bad, in my opinion. I would be more confident to say, let's go look for that 1, right? Right. But there's ways that we can develop ways to prevent, you know, how we progress, how we teach and educate, and how we transition educated wise. And how and what I mean by that is, and I'm sure that there's more to it. Like I told these individuals, I know there's more to it. I understand that these are just conversative, you know, thoughts. But if we can educate our young leaders, if we can educate them, not wait until right before they leave to talk about, oh, you're getting out. Okay, we're gonna send you a task. Okay, and then 5 days you sit there, and in those 5 days you know how to wear a shirt and tie. Right. Totally learning, right? Which is fine. But instead of wasting that 2 years, talent management, that 2-year mark, Sergeant Major, don't you send your career planners to go talk to them and say, hey, look, you're at your 2-year mark, okay? In the next 2 years, this is what's going to happen. At that mark is where we do talent management.
Yes.
We're going to send you to TAPS.
It should go. It should go from here and start working its way down. It's like that flight descending. Yes.
Exactly. Man. Exactly. So now when I decide to stay in or out, it doesn't matter. Now I move on. Now I need to be educated more. Now I need to understand, because now I'm a staff sergeant or a gunny. Now I have to talk to Marines about transition. Well, how can I talk about transition when I've never been taught it, when I don't know anything about it? Oh, don't worry about it. Just go to Mr. Clay. He's over there at the MCCS, and they'll give you a 2 or 3 day class. You'll be okay. Is that a leader? I don't necessarily think so. Because I think I want to talk to someone like I did. Like I put it out there, Ross Blaine. We when in service, when I was getting ready to decide what I was going to do, we talked.
Yep.
That's who I need to talk to. That's a leader, regardless if he's in or out of uniform. But imagine if he was in uniform talking to me about transition.
Wow.
That would be more powerful, right?
Ooh,
now, how do we do that?
Powerful, man.
And again, these are things that are being looked at. Sergeant Major Black and why he invested, the commandant, why they invested in education in our tenure, because that's important. We have to be strategically set to provide those solutions. The commander, whether it be tactically, strategically, or personally. And this is where, again, it's an investment. It's going to grow. These ideas are going to grow into something else, kind of like what I spoke to these officials about. Because now, as a gunnery sergeant, you pick a gunnery sergeant. Now you are, as a gunnery sergeant, you could be the acting battalion sergeant major. You could be the acting company first sergeant.
Right.
And then now you're talking to other staff NCOs, potentially Gunny, I'm getting out. Screw this. You know what? Staff Sergeant Clay, go to TAPS. Yeah, they'll tell you about. No, I need to sit down and say, okay, do you have a resume? Do you know how to write a cover letter? What's that? Okay. All right. Let's talk about the future. Where are you planning to move to? Well, I was planning to go back to Brooklyn. Okay. Have you looked at what the job market looks like in Brooklyn for? We'll use my MOS, aviation logistics. What are you gonna do? Well, I was planning on working on in like HR. Oh, so now you think you're HR? Okay, are you certified? Do you even know about the certification? So those little things.
Yeah, man.
Imagine a gunnery sergeant, instead of waiting years later to go to SkillBridge, gets out to industry and learns. Kind of like those little segued words, right? Like, oh, okay, so you need certifications. Oh shit. So
Aspiazu, I gotta say this, bro. Because man, I've been listening to you, bro. It's a couple times, you know, I got my glasses on, man, but I promise you, dog, like if I would have did like that, dog, it would have streamed off. So I'm happy that it didn't, because dog, like just being able to sit and listen to you, bro. Amazing. But I have to say this, bro. Dog, every United States Marine, specifically, like you said, it's DODY, but specifically, every United States Marine deserves it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, if me and you really start unfolding what our transition has been like, it's not to blame the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps is an entity. We are the Marine Corps. We are the DNA of the Marine Corps. But if you and I was to sit here, bro, like dog, like every Marine deserves it. Even the one that you was talking about, he's not that guy. Hey, talent management wise, hey, it's time for you to go, because you're not meeting the needs in terms of what we expect moving forward as an organization as the Marine Corps. However, we ain't gonna just flick you out there like the booger, so you're sitting in Brooklyn not knowing what to do next, because you will not be an ambassador of what we are. You and I, we're both ambassadors, bro. Every name that you have mentioned, we're all ambassadors, and that's why we keep saying, man, it's scarlet, you know, gold jacket, bro. It's man, Aspiazu, bro. Like you're speaking on some stuff, bro. This is part one. I'll leave it at that. This right here this is part one.
I tell you, I tell you,
I'm gonna break
as
that
we
thing down.
progress, man, I will say that, you know, even us as retired Marines, I'm still getting mentored. Believe it or not,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
just got mentored by a young Marine about FAFSA, and
Right.
although you know, me and Ross talking about VRE and all that, but I wasn't very familiar with FAFSA.
No,
I honestly wasn't. I wasn't clued. And again,
Mm-mm.
27 plus years in the Marine Corps, I'm like, what? There's that? I didn't know that even though it's not like free money, but it can be, whatever. But again, my point is that there's lessons that we could learn, right?
Yeah,
And again,
man.
maybe in the future we can look at ways to help our staff and COs, and I'm talking Marine Corps wide because I know we can do it. I
Yeah,
know,
man.
but again, there's internal and external things that have to kind of meet up
Have to
halfway, because it's not as easy as for me to say that, because now we're talking about, you know, kind of like that young captain who's got to go to EWS. It's in their promotion way.
Right.
I'm going to promote Lieutenant Clay because Captain Aspiazu is going to EWS. So there
That's
will
right.
be this guy will be replacing this guy because this guy's going to school. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Our cycle is a little faster. Right?
Mhm.
It's a little faster. So we got to kind of sit down and kind of decipher, okay, where are we at? Let's talent management. Who is going to give us our bang for the buck? Is it going to be Gunnar Sergeant Clay or Gunnar Sergeant Aspiazu? Gunnar Sergeant Clay, let's just say, has 2 certifications, no degree. Aspiazu has 1 certification, but he has a degree. Okay, so now we know that there's an expectancy. There's a matter of precedence in who's doing what more for that particular community or educationally or whatever it may be. Right? Who's going to provide more? And then that's when those folks have to kind of look at that. That's where talent management comes into play a little bit, where you have to kind of know, you got to know your Marines.
Yeah, man.
At the end of the day, if you don't know your Marines, and then that's a problem.
It's tough, man. It's tough because the era in which we come from is not some, 50 years ago. Like, let's be honest, man. The era that we come from, when you start really digging into that talent management and you start, just me personally, I'll speak personal example. When that reenlistment package would come across the desk, man, I spent more time trying to get reality to transfer onto that paper before taking it in there to that commander. Because it's like you said, it's like, okay, man, I see this young Marine every single day. I can look at the PFT roster. I can look at the CFT freaking results or scores, and I see the young Marine. I'm present. I'm out and about. I'm everywhere. Not because I'm the sergeant major, because like you said, I was trained by gentlemen like yourself that you inspect what you expect. So I'm seeing his life in the barracks. I'm seeing his life out on the PT field. I'm seeing him behind the cubicle. I'm seeing him in the chow hall. I'm seeing him out on limo. So when that package comes in front of me, if I'm getting a one-liner, recommended, it's like, bro, like I'm doing an injustice, not only to the young Marine, but to the institution, at large. So again, I think, and I know all of this has been tabled. I know it's got to be in motion right now. I just spoke to a sergeant major a few days ago, and for the sake of, no need to say no names, but he said it. Clay, it's reenlistment. We're getting to that season right now. It's February. A lot of Marines don't want to stay. And I'll be honest, when he said that to me, it's that compartmentalizing for me, like, should I still care? I'm retired. Yes or no? Reality, do I care? Hell yeah, I care. Because just like you, 27 years of your life dedicated. 23 years of my life dedicated. And when we start thinking about that book that you held up earlier, and we start sitting here looking at CNN that you talked about earlier, we are a war fighting organization, man. And the era in which that we came into, nobody cares about you getting a degree. Grab the damn rifle and let's go, though, dog. We take pride in that per se, but dude, it's 2023. And that talent management, man, I never was the one that struggled with. These junior Marines are some of the brightest, futuristic, like you said, somebody sitting in a garage that has this idea that's the future, man. And it's like tapping into that. Tapping into that, man.
I mean, it's important.
It is, bro. Like I always, what I didn't like at OCS. Let's be real. Let's be 100, dog. It's like Bob Lessons, bro. What I didn't like was this young man that went to Norwich or the Ohio State or University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Miami of Ohio. This young man, he does 4 years. And he's like, well, it was good, but I got what I needed from it. I learned 4 years of leadership from the best, and I'm taking my show on the road. I'm gone. Versus, like you said, our cycle's a little bit different. This young man has aspirations to be a master guns, a sergeant major of the Marine Corps. And it's like, he's already starting off in the negative in terms of he may not have a degree, but he's being trained by someone saying, hey, you go do school on your own stinking time. I need you locked in, and leading Marines and taking care of Marines. So it's always that balance. But it goes back to what you always say. Me and my wife, we have these arguments all the time. She's always on me, Zoo. But like you said, for belay of time, she always says, you volunteered. And as long as that key word, you volunteered, take it for what it is. If you feel that way, then you should have went and became an officer. You should have put in a MESEP package. No, but I want to be a sergeant major. I want to be walking around the chow hall and I want individuals looking at me like they look at Paul T. Archie, like they look at R.B. Bush, like they look at Carlton Kidd, they go on freaking Troy Black, Michael Barrett. I want that. And I'm going to do everything in my power to get to that. And it's like, then when you get there and you experience it and you see that, man, there are some holes that could be fixed. But I was always the one who I would always say to myself, but man, I take pride in, I'm a United States Marine. I could go anywhere on this planet. I could sit down at the table with Michael Jordan sitting across from me. And I could say, hey, Mike, I love your game. I got your shoes. I got your jersey. But the reality is he's looking across the table at a United States Marine. We do something, Zoo, that the average person just can't do. 185,000 strong or whatever the number is. It's like to be able to leverage what we are. And like you said, the transition leaving, Zoo. I've gained more sitting here with you in this last 55 minutes or what than I got out of TRS. I'm being honest. My wife kept cussing me out. She was like, you're not paying attention. You're going to be the same one coming back crying because you don't understand what, this is or the what's it called with the, once your SGLI ends and you got to switch it, you got the option to switch it over and to be out here on recruiting duty. It doesn't stop, bro. And you already know, as a sergeant major, it doesn't stop. My replacement's not here. Yeah. He's not here. I'm still in the shoot for this NJP, or I'm in the shoot to, go down to Parris Island to sit on this court martial, and it just doesn't stop. So it's like you said, that 2-year descend, we know as senior leaders, it technically, if there's a way, show me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Like,
and it takes time, right?
It's
gonna take time. And again, just like I said, everything that we do in the Marine Corps is an investment. Right?
Yeah, man.
We are investing in human performance, right? We are investing in human capital.
Right.
It's important that people understand that these things will take some time. Are we making progress? Yes, we are. Mm-hmm. Times, and for us old salt dogs and salt dog ladies, things are going to change. The times are changing, just like anything else, just like how we transition from the World War II era into the next era. how we went from that Vietnam era to the next era, how
That's
we
right.
went from the desert troopers
Right.
to this era, right?
Right.
Things are going to change, right? We're not
Mhm.
we're not all the same individuals. When we're coming across the services and seeing different things, it's okay. But at the end of the day, just like the ACMEC said, there's one thing that will never change is that when somebody says they are a United States Marine, they say
That's
with
it.
pride.
That's it.
And when that
That's it.
changes, then things
That's
are
it.
going to be different. But till then,
That's it.
it's you never see, even those unmotivated kids, they'll always say, "Yeah, I'm a Marine."
I'm
And
a
they say it
Marine.
with this, "I'm a Marine."
Yes.
Regardless, if they hate it or not, they say it.
I'm a
because they're
Marine.
proud of it. They're
When
proud
they're
to be a Marine.
when they're walking through the airport.
Yep. 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 And I mean that's just how it is. It's just unfortunate that sometimes we just have to be. And again, I hate saying it because I was one of them. You just gotta lead. You
That's
just
it.
gotta be leaders, and no one is taking that away. And it's even happening. I'll just say a personal conversation I had with a young Marine a couple of weeks ago about this kid, he sucks at everything and this and that, but my command, they're gonna need him and all this. And I'm like, so why don't you say something? You're an NCO. Say something.
Right. Gotta say something.
You gotta say something because
Got
that's
to.
your Marine Corps. Because guess what? When you're a gunny, he's gonna be a fucking sergeant or a staff sergeant.
That's
Or we
right.
don't- Or just think about it as a future. You go to combat. Do you want to go to combat with that guy or girl? Yes or no? If you don't trust them to trust your life with them, and then but be mindful of what you're saying. What have you done?
That's it.
What have you done
That's
to
it.
ensure that person there you cannot trust?
That's it.
That you cannot go into combat with? Then we have a different story. Because that's what,
Zoo.
again, that's what we did, right? That's our era.
That's what I was going to say too, Zoo. Do you think a lot of that comes from us being hats? Do you think that comes from us being hats? Because some people, there's a myth out there.
Yeah.
Well, man, those guys were drill instructors, so they're always going the extra mile. They were trained to do that. No, bro, it's passion.
It's passion, man. It has nothing to do, and I say it to this day, and it doesn't matter where you were a drill instructor, West Coast, East Coast, if you were a recruiter or not. I always have these conversations with recruiters, prior recruiters.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, you Marines." I'm like, listen, you say it like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. We're just different, right? We're just
different.
The only thing that I will say is that it's what you apply to what those fundamentals of what you bring to the table. How do you apply that? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if you're a recruiter or a prior drill instructor or whatever, we both have qualities that we can bring to the table. And believe it or not, sometimes when those things are misunderstood, that's where people kind of they lose attention, right? They lose attention. Me personally, I've always said, I don't care. I speak to you as whatever rank I was or as Master Gunner Jorge Aspiazu. I'm not talking to you about anything. When I used to talk to Marines that want to go SDAs, I never said, no, you better be a drill instructor. No. I used to say, okay, what SDA fundamentally are you going to, you're going to be successful at?
Yeah, you're going to thrive.
I want to be a recruiter because I don't like doing that. Okay, got it. Mate, you want to be a recruiter? Noted. Will you have any regrets when you say, well, I mean, I never wanted to be a drill instructor because I couldn't do that, so that's why I didn't do it. If that's a regret, say it with, nope, I never had any desires to be a drill instructor. Because my thing was, I enjoyed talking to people. I wanted people to come into our institution because I love our institution with the blah, 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 blah. It shouldn't be, oh, I don't want to do that hard shit. That should not be it. No. It should come with passion. Like me, I knew when I graduated recruit training, it wasn't a matter of time, it was when it was going to happen. That's what did it for me. I knew it. Yeah, I knew it when I saw, believe it or not, it wasn't even my senior drill instructor, it was my heavy, retired First Sergeant Lewis. Don't know his first name. Sergeant Major Black knows him. I don't know him. I don't know his first name. I didn't even know what first names were until I got older. So I saw this man, and he was the epitome of what a Marine was, man. Like, I mean, I never understood it until I was a hat, and I did it. But he would go in there, do his whatever, and then 2 seconds later, he brand new. He was brand new. And I didn't know at the time, I thought, holy fuck, how did he do that? Yeah. I became a drill instructor. I was like, you know what? that's a mental thing. That right there lets you know you gotta be on point
You
all
gotta
the
be on point all the time.
And I
That's
never did.
right.
I never walked around like crap. Sergeant Rodriguez and I, man, we always used to laugh about it, but I hated the sweaty bands, the
Yeah.
sweatiness looking like, because that's
No.
not the image
Nah, the hat
of
gotta
a
be
drill
tight.
instructor.
That's
Like
right.
you see
That's
him,
right.
how can you be a drill instructor and hate drill? That makes no sense to me on the
Oh
planet.
man, that used to
Like
irk
that
me
makes
too.
no
Yeah.
mistake. Sergeant Black used to say, "Well, if you don't, I don't understand drill instructor, how you don't understand drill," because it's true. Like, how can you be a drill instructor and not want to be a drill instructor? Like, that is why you're there. I understand the whole PT, putting the pit and all that. I got it. That's great. But for me, when I used to see them, crack that precision movement and see them, dude, man, I tell you what, man, there's no feeling on the planet better than
No feeling, dog. It's like heaven.
I got it with the daddy stuff. I'm talking about professionally. I'm talking about
It's like heaven, dog.
Yeah, there's no feeling on the planet to see that. And then when you see the Marines,
man.
like, go out there, and when I hate it when I see like change of command and people are just like,
Yeah.
and then you see your platoon out there, it's like, okay, they get it. They understand.
Get it.
They understand. And it's
there's some passion over there.
There's passion. Yeah, there you go. Purpose, man. Purpose, passion, pride, brother. That's what it's all about, man. And that's the thing. Unless you're willing to give that, that's where I say, we need to kind of like screen that a little bit better. And the recruiters' jobs, man, I tell you what, man, I'd say it all the time, man. There ain't no way I can do it. Absolutely, I will tell you right now. Give me a decision, I'll say nope. I want to be a drone instructor. I cannot do that.
Man,
the pressure is
different, man.
The amount of interaction and denial and you got parents out there saying, "No, my son's not going to do that." When you have your son who's dying to be a Marine, that's what he wants to do, and then you got a parent like, no, and then when he turns 18, he does it, but now he loses his parents because his parents hate him because he joined the Marine Corps. That's bad. That's a bad thing. So that's hard. To me, that's
it is. It's the hardest job in the Marine Corps. I say it
hands down. I'm not gonna
as a hat. It's the hardest job in the Marine Corps.
I'm not gonna say. Well, I'm not gonna say it's the hardest job in the Marine Corps, but I will say it is a very difficult job that I know for a fact that me personally, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I mean, I think, I wasn't. When God made me, He's like, yeah, this guy right here, he needs to go put a campaign cover on.
That's it. But again, that's talent management. Right. And I'll say this, man, before we wrap up. You said earlier, Gunny Aspiazu selected the Master Sergeant, went into the unit, Gunny Hightower, Tasmanian Devil, tightening, individuals up to the gusto. For me, it's hard. I mean, obviously, man, one of the most amazing storied careers that I know is yourself. Master Guns Frazier, old Philip K. Frazier, old Master Guns Matty Knox, who's my surrogate father in the Marine Corps. Master Guns James Starkey, Master Gun Sergeant Kelly Scanlon. I could keep naming them. And when I look at you gentlemen, I say, man, they're better than 95% of the sergeants major that I know. Like literally, like those gentlemen becoming Master Gunnery Sergeants, although when they were gunnies and that list came out, I felt the same. I mean, when Master Guns Frazier got selected to Master Sergeant on that list, dog, like I was sad. I was like, I was sick in the stomach. Like, dog, he's a first sergeant. Why would the Marine Corps select him today on Master Sergeant? But here's the reality, man. For me, Tim Clay, bro, you all are the great equilibrium of the organization, bro. Because again, I mean, like you said, the whole, just being well-rounded. Like you know how to come in and smash fools all day long, you know how to tighten up from top to bottom. From the commander of that unit to the private, you know exactly what to do when you walk in the door, Zoo. But like you said, man, you come from that technical MOS, like Master Guns Frazier, you know, MP, just what you all have been able to do. So I always ask myself, like, man, who was sitting on those boards and said, man, you know, yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
I tell you,
yeah.
No. I will tell you, man, I wish I had that thought for about a good little while until I sat on my first board. And I got it. I got it. You know, every board is different. Every board has their own personalities. Every board, you know, they're looking for something different. And I'm going to tell you, man, like I have so much respect. I mean, the love I have for the institution is beyond anything on the planet. And I will tell you, I got it. When it comes to the selection process, I understand it. It's going to be different. It is going to be different. And I know now that I made it a hard decision. Whatever decision happened, which, you know, I was blessed regardless, it was made for a reason.
No doubt.
Because I wanted to make sure they knew that I had the qualities to be a good sergeant major or a first sergeant, but I also had the qualities to be a good mass sergeant.
That's right.
Because I was not going to allow them to say, nah, he ain't got to be no first sergeant and definitely ain't going to be no mass sergeant. And now I'm in the mass sergeant pile. The next board comes out, he definitely don't need to be a mass sergeant. So I was not going to give anyone that ability at all. Right. And I think that's important for us who are trying, those Marines that are trying to become first sergeant mass sergeants that I've mentored. I said, do not be that one side show, because that personality that you're going to run into in there is going to say, oh, Aspiazu, this is all he does. Okay. Oh, damn, Clay, this guy over here, he's fucking doing that, and he's doing this. And
that's right.
That. You
that's
know,
right.
That's a first sergeant. Yes. That's the first sergeant that can be able to articulate all sides of leadership principles. You don't know that, right?
Right.
Every board is different. Regardless, I hold no quorums. I did for about 4.5 months where I hated everything in life. But to be honest with you, after being mentored, because again, at the end of the day, you know, that's what we do as a brotherhood, sisterhood, is that we sit down and we talk. Believe it or not, man, when I got selected to mass sergeant, man, I remember when I got back, you know, Robin Fortner reached out to me, you know, and you know, shout out to
Robin Fortner.
Robin, man, I love her, man. She is like, man, I this will be another part 3 on this, man. When she says that she is dedicated to her brothers and sisters, she is dedicated.
Right.
Never been a moment in our careers that, and I can tell you, man, there was a point that I was down here, man, and there she was, man. And I'll tell you, she is an awesome sister. I'm not gonna call her a friend, because a friend, you know, anybody could change that.
Right.
My sister,
right.
like, you know, and people may have their opinions, whatever, don't really care. This is me speaking. But I tell you, man, it's one of those things where you got to be able to rise up, man, and rise up, because at the end of the day, when everything goes down, it's not what happens when you're down there. It's how you get up.
It's how you get up
and you show them, and
that's
you show
right.
them. That's what we do, man. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
We have to lead. All these leadership books, you know, good old Mattis talks about it. You know,
man.
He learned and he moved on, and it's about standing up and being that person when you walk through that room that people say, "Yup, that's him." There you go.
That's it. Hey, man, it's been a blessing, brother. This is part 1. You know, I'm laying it out there right now. This is part 1, and we're gonna continue this build, man, because this has been amazing, bro. This is sensei level type, in my opinion, bro. And I'm happy to thank you, bro, because
I appreciate you.
Believe me, man, an hour's not enough, dog. It's just not enough.
If I can say one more thing, brother.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
We're gonna go. I just want to say, for your senior guys that are getting ready to retire, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, if they want to reach out to you, get my email by all means. And I will say to any of those Marines that are planning on getting out, that are on your list there, that watch this, research. Do research before you decide to make any decisions, man. I'm telling you right now, we got senior folks. I've had conversations with senior folks that have no clue what they're doing. And I'm going to tell you this, I had no clue. I thought I knew, and I didn't. Do your research, everything from where you're going to, if you're going to stay, the market, where we're going. Think about the emerging threat. Believe it or not, don't lose that focus because I'm getting out. I don't have to worry about that. Yes, you do.
Absolutely.
When there's war, there comes other things.
That's right.
Other things happen. We have to pay for war.
That's right.
Like that. So you have to think, if you are a graphic designer and that's your edge and you're getting out of the Marine Corps, where am I going to be lucrative to make that kind of money to sustain and be able to survive doing that? If we go to war, we're not talking about graphic design. There's not much graphic designing happening if we go to war.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So do your research. And I don't mean that, I'm not insulting any graphic designers. I don't get sued. I'm just saying, for me, that's the one thing that I think was the biggest benefit for me to do research, because that they don't teach you that. No one teaches you that. No one, there's no classes, none of that stuff. Do your research and concentrate on the important things of what people are going to see about you. You have to be able to sell yourself and understand why you're still wearing that uniform, to understand what knowing your worth is.
Oh man, that's powerful.
Don't let none of these. I'm sorry. I know I might get beat up by some of these transition folks when they say you just know you need your worth. Okay, what is that? What's my worth?
Yeah, what really is that?
What really is my worth? What is my worth as a podcast announcer? What is my worth?
Right.
You need to understand that. Is that enough to make enough money to feed my family?
Right.
It may not be. Okay, so what else do I need to do? You got to know that, or understand, if I'm going to work for George P. Incorporated as a podcast person, I pay, let's just give a bad number, $5,000 a month. Is that enough for you?
Right.
Probably not.
No.
Guess what? You need to start thinking about other places where you might have to relocate, and maybe sunny, wherever the hell you're at, is not it. You know what I'm saying? So little things like that. Okay, I get on myself. All right,
no, that's hey bro, like I love you to death, man, because it's so true, bro. And that's what these light bulb lessons are, man. These light bulb lessons is just what you just said, bro. Like, I don't beat the people up, like you said. Nothing that we've said on here today, for those out there watching, is from a place of malice or anything. So whoever you are out there, whether you're still serving, if you're not serving, just know, man, that the key word that my partner just said, man, is knowing your worth. At the end of the day, I mean, every individual is responsible for that. And even for me, Zoo, going through that transition, I wouldn't say that I blew it off. I didn't blow it off, but I really was just like, man, having Ross Blaine, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ross Blaine was walking the dog with me from day one. All from the time I got promoted, the time I got selected, him and Smallwood start walking the dog with me.
Oh my God, Andre.
Johnny Borders. Johnny Borders still serving. Shout out to Johnny Borders.
That's my brother, man. He's another one, man.
That's right. He's still serving. But again, man, those light bulb lessons connect dots. And those guys, soon as I made up my mind, hey man, I'm going home. I'm pulling a Barry Sanders. Hey, I'm gonna run this last run, and I'm gonna keep running into the dang on freaking locker room. They all switched their cap and said, all right, we're going to help you, Clay, transition up out of here. We're going to start, holding you accountable. We're going to start calling you, hey, what's next? What are you doing? Hey, Clay, don't do anything for the first 6 months. Rekindle with your wife and your kids. Set your ass down somewhere. All of these different things that from that brotherly love and the perspectives from so many gentlemen.
and reaching out, man. It's just simply reaching out.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
Sergeant Major Green.
Yeah,
Major
bro.
Green Corps, man. Why
on, man.
would he have to reach out to me? I'm
Come
one of
on, man.
55,000 people. He reaches out, man. You know, good old freaking Stephen Hunt. And you
Yeah.
mentioned Borders. Borders,
Yeah.
another one, man. Like,
Stephen
and
Hunt,
it has
yeah,
nothing
bro.
to do. It's just a matter of love, man. And we believe
It's love.
at brotherhood, man. We believe that we are going to take care. We will never do anything to see each other fail at all. And
Nah,
I'm
man.
gonna tell you right now, man, it has been an honor. Again, it's truly an honor for me to even be sitting here. You know, you doing this amazing thing for us, for the community. You know,
Appreciate
anyone
that.
that knows me, I am 3rd Battalion, true and true.
Yes,
I
sir.
bleed blue, straight up.
That's right.
Always, you know, a lot of our peers always make fun of that thing that we do, but it is what it is, man.
It is.
That's the difference amongst all of us. There are drill instructors, and then there are 3rd Battalion drill instructors. And with that, I'm gonna do the Barry Sanders.
Yes, sir. That's it. Hey, man, I love you.
Love you too, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, man. And again, man, it's part 1. Hey, to be continued for part 2, man. We love y'all out there. Light bulb lessons always, spread that love. And as we always say, peace.